Jordan and his friends are upstairs getting ready for his big birthday celebration. I asked you guys on Facebook if you wanted to see my famous chocolate cake recipe, which he loves and is his favorite. It is the best chocolate cake ever. And it's super easy, so if you're not a big baking fan, this is super easy and you can totally do it and it'll come out great. And it's way better than buying cakes in a box. So I'm gonna show you. The first thing I did was I turned the oven on to bake to 300 degrees, or if you're doing Celsius, that'd be 148 degrees Celsius, I believe. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it like a 2-layer cake, so I have 2 9-inch round pans, and I'm just going to prepare these. So what I do is you just take a stick of butter, or you could take Crisco or whatever shortening. I'm out of my shortening or Crisco, so I'm just using butter. All the sides. This way your cake will come out really easily when you're done. And you're just going to kind of fully coat the whole pan. See, like that, where you can see it inside. You're going to do that so all the corners are coated. You want to get in the corners really well in there so the cake won't stick anywhere. Once you have the butter spread everywhere, I'm just going to take my flour, maybe just like a tablespoon or so, but you can dust the excess into your other pan. So just about that much. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of tap it so it gets in all the corners, it gets in all the sides. And then I just kind of roll it so the flour coats all these edges in here. And then once you do that, I just dump the excess into my other cake pan right here. And then do the same thing, just tap it so it doesn't stick and it spreads everywhere. Okay, now what I'm going to do first is I have 2 cups of boiling water, and I'm going to pour that into my bowl. Then we'll get all the rest of the ingredients out after this. Then I also have 2 cups of sugar, and I'm just going to pour the sugar into the boiling water in the bowl. Now what that is going to do is dissolve the sugar granules so they're not kind of chunky in with our mixture. So I'm just going to let that sit there a little bit. I'll get a spoon and stir it around just a little too. And you just keep stirring until you have like a caramel colored syrup looking sugar water. Now I'm going to take 1.5 cups of buttermilk, and I'm just going to pour that into our kind of sugar water mixture. And even though buttermilk sounds like it would be gross, it really makes it taste delicious. Give that a little stir. Then I'm going to take 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. It smells so yummy. It reminds me of milkshakes my grandma would make when I was little. And I put a little extra, so that's probably perfect. Then I normally use canola oil, but all I have is safflower oil, so use the canola oil, but I'm just going to use this because this is what I have. So I'm going to put 1 cup of this in here. 2 brown organic cage-free eggs, doesn't matter what color eggs they are. I'm going to put these in a little bowl and mix these up. And for some reason, eggs just kind of gross me out. I don't know why. Like the little white little taily part on the eggs, it just gross me out. I don't like it. I'm gonna throw these in the trash. Wash my hands. Eggs. Okay, now I'm just gonna get my whisk and I'm going to mix these guys up a little bit. Then I'm gonna plop them into my KitchenAid mixer and start mixing away. I could have put this in there too, but sometimes I just like mixing these guys up on their own. I love having a KitchenAid because I used to bake all the time. Like I would bake almost every single day. And if you bake a lot, a KitchenAid is a great present to ask for Christmas or birthday or whatever. I'm gonna wash my hands again. Now my KitchenAid is busy twirling away. If you don't have a KitchenAid, you can use a hand mixer. You can use your good old arm, your really big biceps, which is what I used to do. I used to make whipped cream by hand every night for hot chocolate, and just this one arm was getting like so buff from my whipped creaming. Okay, now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, and I have real sea salt. We'll put 1 teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons of good old baking soda, 1 and 2. Now we're going to add our flour. I love these little old glass jars because they're so cute and it just makes you feel like, oh, I'm a little old country baker. So I'm going to add 2 cups of flour. And you can just kind of eyeball level it like this. And I'm just going to lift that up so it goes in there easier. We'll stir him around while I add another cup in there. We'll put this back. Now is the yummy chocolatey part. I'm using Ghirardelli unsweetened cocoa. You could use Hershey's too. And I'm going to put 3/4 a cup of this in here. One time I accidentally put the sweetened kind in. It still came out good. It was just like a really sweet cake. So put all this in here. Let that mix some more. And I will put this away. You just want to mix mix it till it's all mixed together and looks kind of like a creamy, liquidy hot chocolate. This smells so good and chocolatey. I really want to lick this, but I know that's not a good idea because there's raw egg on it. Now I'm just going to take the batter and I'm going to fill each cake pan up about halfway full. That's good for number 1. And now we'll fill up number 2. I really just want to lick this whole bowl. This looks good, Blakey?
It looks so good.
I know, it looks delicious.
No, look.
We're going to bake it up right now, okay, buddy? Now I moved my racks in the oven so they're perfectly even in the middle of the oven. And I'm going to put both of these on the rack and we're going to cook it for about 20 or 22 minutes and then we'll check. And the whole house is going to smell so yummy in a few minutes. Okay, now while the cake is baking, we're going to make the yummy frosting. So just take a saucepan, and then what we're going to need is 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks of butter. We're going to need 6 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. This is a 12-ounce bag, so I'm just going to use half of this bag. And then we're going to need half a cup of heavy whipping cream, and I'm just using organic heavy whipping cream. So we'll put this all in our saucepan, and then we'll put it on medium heat on the stove. Add the butter into your pan, and then pour the chocolate chips in over the top. That's about half a bag left over. And our half a cup of heavy whipping cream. Ooh, that's going to be delicious. You could also use half and half if you don't have the heavy whipping cream too. So after this is on medium heat, then you just stir this all around until the butter and the chocolate chips are all melted. And sometimes I like to mash the sticks of butter in half, or you can cut them up, that way they melt a little easier too. Then you stir the chocolate until it's all mixed and melted like this. We're going to remove it from the heat and then we're going to add our powdered sugar. And my baking assistant woke up from her nap. Yeah, you did. So we still have our chocolate that we heated on the stove that's still warm. And then we have 2.5 cups of powdered sugar that we're going to pour in and stir. And this is how delicious our chocolate frosting looks once we've whipped it all up. You can eat this spoon, Blakey.
What?
You want to lick this spoon?
Yeah.
Yummy.
Look at y'all.
Oh my goodness, it is so good. I'm going to go wash my hands again and then we will check on our cake. Now when you're going to check your cake, you pull it out and then you just want to tap it and see if it bounces back. Then you want to stick a toothpick in, and if it comes out clean, it's ready to get out of the oven. I don't have a toothpick, so I'm just going to use my knife. Probably needs a couple more minutes. Now it's time to take our cake out of the oven. Like my diamond ringlet. These look and smell so delicious. So we're gonna leave them up here to cool, like so. Now we've taken our cake out of the oven and we've let it cool for about 10 minutes. And we're just going to take a butter knife and just help make sure it's not stuck to the edges of the pan. I just like to give it a little tap on the side like this. And then I'll put our wire cooling rack, or you could put it on a sheet. Just give it a tap a couple times. Yeah. And voila, it came out perfectly. And it is on our sheet. Okay, so now we're just going to take our other layer and place it on the cake stand. So take your butter knife and just loosen it up around all of the edges. Just kind of jiggly motions like that. And then I like to take it and just tap the sides so you kind of loosen it up. And then I'm going to take my cake stand and then we're just going to hold it on top, flip it over like this, give it a couple of taps to loosen it. I will hold this up and hopefully it will have come out very easily. Perfect! And now that it looks beautiful on the cake stand, we're going to let it cool for probably another 30 minutes and then it will be cool enough to ice. Now that we're back and our cake is cooled, we're just going to take our icing, and then what you want to do is just mix it by hand so you get it kind of soft and it's kind of like a fudge consistency. So I'm just going to take my spatula and we're just going to apply a thin coat of icing. First cake layer full of icing, so that way when we put the layer on top, there's that yummy little middle part of icing in between, and this icing is so amazing. I could just eat bowls of it, but that's probably not a very good thing to do. And homemade cakes don't have to be perfect. It makes it look more yummy and homemade when it doesn't look like, you know, it came from your local bakery or grocery store. and then drag it along the side and then smooth out the top. And the best thing would be is I wish that Jordan and his friends were ready to eat the cake now because it's still kind of warm, but we still have to eat our pizza and then we'll have cake. And it doesn't matter if we get icing all over because we're just gonna clean the plate up afterwards because it's kind of messy right now. Now that we have the bottom ice, we're going to get our top piece right here on the cooling rack, and I'm just going to kind of flop him onto my hand, which I just washed, and then we're just going to set it right down on top like that. And now we will ice the top part. And I wish I could film me taking a big bite of this afterward, but I'm going to have to wait. But the one way we will know that it was delicious is if you see me finally upload this video, because if it tastes bad, I will not upload this video. This is the most fun part, is icing it. And again, the more imperfect it looks, the more homemade and delicious it will look. And here is the finishing touches on our cake. Okay, so the last part is we're just going to finish up our icing on top. And you can finish up the sides with big smooth strokes, little choppy ones. You can smooth out the corners. You can make little peaks. So this is our beautiful cake, and now I can eat the icing. So good. To clean up our cake, I just wet a little paper towel, and I'm just going to scrape around the sides so that it looks pretty. It doesn't look like I just attacked it with icing everywhere like I did. Beautiful. And ta-da! Here's our chocolate cake. I didn't even need to put a baking apron on. It's just because I couldn't find mine actually. This cake is delicious, super easy to make, and don't forget you can go to my blog. I'll put the link below so you can find all the exact ingredients and baking instructions and temperatures and everything else like that. So have an awesome day, and we will see you in the next video, and hopefully I will be able to tell you how delicious this cake was right after this. I just want to eat it. It's still warm and gooey, and I wish everybody was here. We could just sing happy birthday and eat it now.